need to see whether these secondhand batteries, how degraded they actually are. The person I bought them off told me around 10%. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 20%. We'll have a look. We need to do a capacity test. It's going to take some time because these are big bad boys here. Let's get it on the charge. I don't have a BMS, but in the previous video we checked the cells are pretty balanced. We've got our trusty variable power supply here. We want to go all the way to 14.6, but for now we'll do 14.2. So we just want to set that here. So there we go, 14.2 volts, straight up to 4.3 amps, and we're actually restricted there. Current is turned down, so there we go, 14.2 volts. It's taking 5 amps at the moment. This can do a maximum of 10 amps. Now we simply, at constant current charges, as the battery reaches capacity, the amps will drop. When there's nearly no amps, that's when we're at full charge. We might actually go up a little bit to see as I rise the voltage, which we should see the amps go up a little. I think we'll leave it at that, a little short of the 14.6 volt. But again, when we come back after some hours, we'll up it and just do that last bit of the charge, which shouldn't take long. We'll just check the voltage at the battery. We're actually seeing 13.1 volts, which is a little weird. Just check the here, 14.3 here and here, 13.1. That's bloody weird. What's going on? That should be reading the 14, I would think. 13.2. But at the terminals of the supply, we're definitely seeing 14.3. This is confusing. So what we should see, if we drop the amps down, we should see the voltage reduce and the constant voltage drop to constant current. We've gone into constant current and see with our amps have dropped, voltage has dropped. And that's what you should see. The voltage of the battery pack will slowly rise as it takes charge. We're still seeing 13.1 volts at those terminals. But what I'm thinking we'll see when we come back after leaving to charge, we will see that 13.1 volts rise up. Alright, very good. We'll be back in a number of hours and see what we've got. Thanks for having a look. Okay, I thought about it a bit, and of course, it's these tiny little leads on this power supply. They're very small for the type of current. We're putting 10 amps through this little cable, and while it wasn't getting hot, it was certainly restricting current and voltage. Now it's behaving as it should be. You can see here with these new crocodile leads, thicker wire, we're now at 13.7 volt and nearly 10 amps of current. And as this voltage rises, this will rise right up to what we set at 14.4, and once we hit that voltage, it'll swap over to constant voltage and the amps will start to drop. This is much what we should be seeing. Before, we were actually restricted by the small wires, and while it would have charged, it would have taken longer. You can see we're getting twice as much current in now, and it looks far more like it should to be charging this big battery. Should be full current for a while. Just about 10 amps going in. It's a 240 amp hour battery. It's going to be a bit less because of its age, but actually at 10 amps, it's going to take 20 hours to fully charge one of these bad boys. So it could take a while, but we'll see how it goes through the day. We'll keep checking on it. Okay, we're back much later in the evening, and we're still charging 14.5 volt at 1.2 amp, and the battery is now reading 14.4 volt. So we're nearly there. We can see that by the current coming down. There you are if you need to have a little look-see yourself. Boop, boop, boop. But for now, we're out of time, so we're going to have to finish this off another day. It's been on there for about 12 hours. Oh, maybe say 10 hours. Still charging, but nearly there. Okay. We're back the day after. I've been to work and back, and 14.6, it was drawing nothing, and now it's gone up to 1/4 of an amp. But while I was testing it, see we're 14.67 there, it says now, so it's a little bit high. I must have, this is a cheap power supply, it does funny things. 14.59, and we're not drawing anything. That is as close to charge as we're going to get. So, let's begin the capacity test. We're still going to need that. Let's, I'm just going to put this back on so we don't risk shorting out. And then we've got this bad boy, an A-Torch DL24. I got this a long time ago, and I haven't used it for quite some time. But let's see how we go. The inputs here, it's got 4. You can just hook up the voltage. I believe it's got V plus, V minus, and amps plus and minus. I believe you can just do a 2-wire setup with the voltage, but a better test that takes the wire resistance into account is to hook up the amps and the voltage, and it'll pull amps. I don't know if that's real or not, but let's fire this up. We need to get 12 volts into it, which we can do. Let's move these out of the way. I was using those for a bit more. These are tiny little cables, which we don't need a lot of current. We'll set this down a little bit to 12 volts, and then put these into the back. I've just put a little adapter in there and 2 bits of wire. That's good enough for what we're doing. Oop, there we go. Put this down here. This is just a basic capacity checker. I don't know, I think it's 10 or 20 amps. We'll find out in a minute. That it's able to draw out of the battery. If it's only able to do 10 amps, it's going to take around 20 hours to drain this battery. So it's going to take a long time. But for now, this is all we've got. So we'll put that here. You can see on the screen, it's a lovely little screen. A lot of information condensed into there. But let's get it hooked up and we'll go from there. That's a temperature probe. It's just, we don't really need that. It's not going to overload this battery. Right, so we've got, watch those, they're not going to come off. Amps plus, amps minus, volts plus, right, amps. So maybe we need to do maybe can we make them reach? It would be so good if we could make them reach. Oh, how about that? The only problem is, can I, hang on. Take two, please hold. This is better. Basically, I believe we just need to run both. It'll draw heavy amps through the wire. The second wire, the volts wire, will just measure the voltage. And this is more accurate because the resistance of the wire and the high amps running through it won't give a false reading for the sensor. So it'll be just more accurate. I believe that's it. So on with the A-Torch. It's saying 12.97 volts. That does not seem right. I'm getting, oh gosh, you know why? I'm glad it's not smoking, but I've wired it up back to front. Jeez. Uh-oh. I should have been quicker about that. Oh my god. Heaven to Betsy. It's obviously got... Oh, I can't believe I did that. I'm such a noob. That is a noob. Oh, thank you, A-Torch, for building a bloody capacity checker for numpties like me. That's better. We're reading... Oh, look at that. Little slight bit. We're reading 14.603 volts, which is amazing. That is a fully charged battery. 4S, according to our chart, 14.6 is the absolute max weekend charge, which is perfectly. I just gave it a top-up charge, and so we should be good. Now, we just need to initiate a charge. I've set it as a cutoff voltage of 2.5 volt, which matches our... Oh no, that's not right. That's a minimum per cell. We want a minimum of 10 volts. Gee, that wouldn't have been any good if we did it to 10. So, we can hold it in. Thank you, A-Torch. What a brilliant device. 5 volts, 6 volts. Nearly a second big mistake there. If we discharge this to 2.5, irreparable damage would be done. We've got 10 volts on the cutoff voltage. Let's have a look. Should probably... I have to get better camera gear eventually, but for now, we've got to make do. There's the display. You can see there's our voltage, constant current mode, time discharge, which we don't want. Cutoff voltage 10 volts, which matches our 4S 10 volt minimum, which is perfect. Beautiful. And I believe we just click this button. On. Off. On. Hold it in. It's anticlimactical. And begin. Okay, take two. This thing amazingly has a Bluetooth connection and an app. Wow, this is this is how things can be. Doesn't always go to plan. I don't know if I should cut it so you don't see all the mistakes I make. I think it'd be more fun though if you do see the mistakes I make. I can't believe that didn't blow up when I plugged it in back to front. But just forget about it. It's all good. You watch this. It's going to work now. I've got to set the current limit again. 15, 10 volt, start. Oh, wow, okay. Doesn't like it. Let's try 10. 10. That's going to be at least a 20-hour test. It's going to be 24 hours if it's got full capacity, but we shouldn't. We can be hopeful. Aha! I don't know why it didn't work the first time. There we go. 10 amps, 14.5 volts. There's our watts, 144. See, 15 amps should have been okay. And what we're after... Oh, it's measuring capacity in milliamp hours, but that's okay. We can calculate that out. But there we are. We will leave that running until tomorrow, and we'll check in later. 1000 is 1 amp. 10,000 is 10 amps, but this is a 200 amp hour battery. Is that going to be a problem? I bet you, sorry, the lights just went off. I bet you that this will auto adjust up to amp hours when it needs to. So let's just run with it. Voltage is on 13.8 already, so, but that's pretty expected with a LifePo battery. The top part of the voltage will drop really quick and then it'll flatline, just like our charge curve. The discharge curve will follow it in opposite. Okay, it's very early in the morning, and oh, you can see the camera reflection. We've been running for 9 hours, 5 minutes, and we've got 90 amp hours so far. We'll check in again in another 12 hours. Here we are back in the shed, work's finished, and in 18 hours, 12 minutes and 23 seconds, we have completely discharged the battery. And we have the capacity of 209 amp hours. That's really good. I was kind of expecting 200 amp hours, but it's a 240 amp hour battery. It's given us 210, which is a really good result. And this is a 6.5-year-old battery. We'll round it up a bit. It's lost 31 amp hours, this particular one. And to be honest, if it's out of a vehicle, vehicles are really tough on batteries. They're high currents. If people are charging them up to 100% and draining them a lot, that's a lot of cycles. But again, with the same with cars, if you don't charge them all the way, and they have, most of them I think have that option, you can extend your battery life by just, you know, only charging to 90%, 80%. So this is awesome. I'm very pleased with it. What we're going to do now is disconnect this and give the battery a bit of a charge. We don't need to charge it all the way, but it's doesn't help the battery to stay in such a low discharged state. So we want to bring it up within this range. So their resting rate was about 13 volts, and that sounds like a pretty great voltage. So what we'll do, we'll disconnect this. We will plug it into the correct terminal this time. Let's not talk about that. And plus, we'll do double checks. There we go. This is set to 12 volts, so we can turn that on, and we'll just bring it up. We'll just bring it up to about 13 volts. There we go. And look, already drawing 8 amps because it's so discharged. Wicked results, friends. Very happy. I think next video we will charge it to this and drain it to this to capacity check these two values and see what the difference as a percentage is between this and this. That sounds pretty exciting to me. No problems. Thanks for watching. Great news. Well, we're done with the capacity test on the new ideal levels. So we went from 13.8 and we discharged down to 12 volt, and here's our result: 203 amp hours. So amazing. So by cutting that voltage, not stressing the battery anywhere near as much, we only lost 6 amp hours. That's really good. Really good. It took 17 hours. This has been a long video to make.